What is going on, guys? It doesn't say we're recording on my end. I can edit it. I'll edit it again. Okay. What is going on, guys? Welcome into the Jeff the Honest Marketer Facebook, YouTube, Facebook Live, except for it's recorded now, channel. What is going on? Today we're going to be interviewing someone super awesome. One of my good buddies, Zach. We tried this a little minute ago to do a Facebook Live with this, but sometimes technology stunts us, and Facebook and tech, but it's all about just keep swimming, and making the best of the situation when you had it. So we tried 2-3 different ways to make this work. And then we were just like, you know what? We're going to get on Zoom. We're going to record it because Facebook is not letting us do a Facebook Live today. We're still going to produce it because, guys, you just got to show up. When you get kicked in the teeth, do what you got to do. So today, Zach has a list of things that he put together that we're going to talk about. He put it on his profile. I'm going to let Zach kind of take it over, but before I do that, I want to give him a warm introduction. Zach here has been one of my friends for a little while. He was in one of our social circles, in my social circle for a little while. We kind of ran past each other several times over the last 3-4 years, but oddly enough, we never really met each other. We went to Jason Capital events together. We watched a lot of the same content together, went through a lot of the same courses and communities together, and happens one out of the day, one of his roommates or friends or business partners ends up introducing each other, and we're like, oh my gosh, like how did we not know each other? And so I'm excited to let him drop some nuggets, some value nuggets, some bombs today around marketing, sales, copywriting, and success. So Zach, how you doing, man?
Amazing, dude. So excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I want to start this off by a quick story. So first off, my name is Zach Austin. I am a direct response copywriter. I show business owners how to build brand loyalty and trust with their following through email marketing. And it's something I've been doing now for the past couple of years. And I wanted to just start this off with a quick story. So I'm over here with a client right now in Topanga, California. We've been spending the last week just getting a bunch of stuff done. We're trying to get one sales funnel and a brand new offer for him up and running. And I was talking to his son, and I asked him, because his son is right now working with one of the largest marijuana distribution companies in the world right now. Like, they are huge. They're blowing up. He just had his first 6-figure year. Yesterday, he did a deal with a company that netted in over $300,000, something like that. Crazy. But I asked him, I'm like, so what do you think was one of the biggest causes of your success? And he looks at me and he says, my dad from a very young age instilled the belief in me that I could build whatever I want in my life, that if I wanted to create something or if I wanted to build something in my world, that I can actually go out and create it. And now he's doing what he loves. He's created this music festival in his hometown that people go to annually, like a lot of people, like the entire town. And it really comes down to where, and first off, I want to do a side around. You notice this doesn't have a lot to do with business. This doesn't have a lot to do with copywriting, but this is the foundation. You have to be the kind of person who believes in their mind that I really can create anything that I set out to create. If they can put a man on the moon, or if they can, Elon Musk wants to die on Mars. If they can do that, I mean, shit, what's stopping you? It's really nothing. So at its bare bones, it really does start with that. And I'm sure you can, I'm sure you have something to add to this, because it's you really do have to have a level of persistence and a level of self-love and confidence to really make it working for yourself, or turning what you love doing, the thing that you do that makes you forget to eat, and make it into your living.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about that?
Dude, that's the truth. I tell that, there's a saying that I always say, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But what one of my mentors, most of you guys here on the video know a little bit about me, but I started out in the network marketing space. And when we start out in entrepreneurship and business, a lot of times we are challenged by our beliefs and our limitations and our thoughts. We see how other people are successful, but we have this thought in our head that they were born chosen, or they were given something else magical, or a stone, something that we weren't given with. And that's not really the case. Where I'm going with this is that my buddy, when I was in this network marketing company, I had that belief, right? And he bashed me in my head over and over and over again, just saying, if it's possible, it's doable. If it's doable, why not me? And that's really it, right? And really what that comes down to is, if you believe it, if it's possible, you can do it, right? And eventually, as I started struggling and going through my personal experiences in marketing, I really started to kind of stumble across the idea of like success doesn't happen because you were chosen. It happens because you made the choice. And what comes with making a choice, right? It's belief. It's really belief. If you don't believe in yourself, then no one else is going to. If no one else is going to believe in you either, then you're never going to get anywhere. So I love that, man. And your success is really only limited by what you believe you can do. I mean, I don't know how many sayings and people have ever said that, but I love it. That's a great place to start.
100%, dude. It's like there's a big difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. It's like if you have a fixed mindset, it's like you look at someone who has skills and you're like, that guy has like, he was born with talent. You think you're born with the skill sets that you have, but it's like, that's not how success and mastery works. It's like when you first start something, everybody sucks when they first start something. But the person with the growth mindset realizes that I put consistency and I put persistence and I put dedication into something every single day. And then eventually I'm going to become really, really good at it. Like you work for your skill set, you build your skill set a little bit at a time. And it's no one is born great. You don't have to be great to get started. You just need to get started to be great.
Yeah.
It's really what it comes down to.
One brick at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Jason Capital says Kaizen. I mean, I agree, man. It's one step at a time. And I talk to a lot of people about that because my system is content creation, learn, teach, repeat, get on video, create content. I said content creation twice, but it's about creating value, giving value. And everybody always comes to me and it's like, man, I don't know how to create content, or I don't know what to create, or I don't feel like the value that I have is worth it. And I don't have the best camera background, or I don't have whatever, all of these things. But I want to hit that as it's about just starting. When I started, I mean, just like you, I mean, that's a good conversation to have because not a lot of people talk about that, is where you started, the problems that you had. Dude, when I first started, I was so scared to get started in this online space. I wouldn't get on camera. I was afraid to do podcasting because I had these self-limiting beliefs in myself. Again, beliefs. That I started blogging. I did it on text. And I'm a horrible writer. I'm like the worst writer on the planet. No joke. Like, anyways, I started blogging because I didn't have the courage to do anything else under a pen name. It wasn't even like my real name. I put some else's like brand name because I was so scared. I started getting positive feedback. I started people saying, oh my gosh, like you helped me so much. And that boosted my courage a little bit. And I launched the podcast. 15, 20 people started listening to the podcast. And then one day I was like sitting there in my garage, walking around pacing, like I have this great subject I want to talk about. And instead of doing the podcast, I pulled out my phone, I set up all these lights and grabbed a sticky note, this giant ass it was just a sticky note, and slapped it onto a wall and said, you know what? Today's the day I'm going to make a first Facebook Live. I sat there in front of that Facebook Live, like with my camera set up, my lights set up for probably 15, 20 minutes, just staring at myself in this video feed. Like, I'm scared. I can't do this. And then like this thought, every time though, this same thought goes through my head every time I'm scared. You have two choices, dude. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. There's no in between. What is it going to be? Just make the damn choice. Click the Facebook Live, grab my little Sharpie and started scribbling on the wall. It was the worst thing on the planet. I ended up like deleting it a little bit later, but dude, the rest is history.
100%. And I think there's actually a great way to get started into just like talking about copywriting. I had a student who I was teaching bass guitar for a little while, and he had a very, very similar issue. He's like, I'm getting really good. I'm starting to write some music. I really like the level that I'm playing at right now. And I have a message that I want to share with the world, but it's not ready. Like, it needs to be better. It has to be better. Like, I can't release anything imperfect. It's not allowed to happen. And I look at him like, look, dude, your perfectionism is killing you. It's fucking killing you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a perfectionist. And in fact, like just to ease anybody's conscience who's watching this right now, nobody wants you to be perfect.
No.
Nobody, like, because they see someone who's perfect and they're like, that person thinks their shit doesn't stink.
Yeah.
Like, people want to see you as a human being. They want to see that human part of you that makes mistakes, that takes chances, that just is bold. You express yourself raw, like it's your raw, authentic personality, and you express it. And it's It's a great way to get in. So it's like, what I really want to talk about today is something that I get asked more than anything else when people like message me and ask me questions about business. And it's, how do I make my first 5K a month online?
I love that. Let's do it.
And my first answer is this, is like, when you're first starting out, don't start a business.
Yep.
Do not start a business when you first start out. Like, if you have no money, no capital, no connections, you don't want to like take out a $25,000, $100,000 loan, start a business, do all this other crap, and then like see what happens. It's like, it starts with learning a skill.
Yes.
It starts with a skill. You first off, you think it's like, what do I really like doing? What's that one thing that I like doing that I literally forget to eat when I'm doing it? And you're like, okay, so maybe it's music, maybe it's art, maybe it's karate or self-defense or health and fitness or personal development. And you're looking at that, it's like, so what kind of skill, like what is the biggest need in this market right now? Like, what is the biggest need that these people want solved? And then you pick a skill. So like, that skill could be learning how to write sales copy. It could be learning how to be a good public speaker. It could be being really good at running social media ads. It could be just as simple as you posting consistent content on Instagram. You don't even have a page, but it's just like, hey, so I'm an artist. You want to learn how to draw? Great. I'm looking for 10 people right now who I'm going to personally take under my wing. And I'm going to show you how to get your art out to the world, how to sell it, and how to even turn it into a side business. And you bring these people in, you get them on like, a Zoom call, just like we have right here. And, it could be something just small. Start out, just see how you do and be like, cool, it's going to be $97 a month. We get on a phone call once a month. And over the next 6 months, I'm going to lay out a system for you to become an amazing drawer. So you can go sit in any landscape, any environment that you're at, sit down and draw it and capture it. And I'm just super excited to share it with you. And you'd be surprised how many people would like actually be looking for that.
Yes. The riches are in the niches. I say that all the time. Like, narrow down. Like, if you want to be successful in life, that's so powerful that you just said that. I love the way that you just started. There's so much value right there. It was not, I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about a couple of those things because there was a ton there. Don't start a business. Don't start a business. I want to hit with that first. As a guy, okay, I own a marketing agency. I help insurance agents. When I first started, right, I did everything. Logos, websites, all this shit, okay? And so I don't know how many people would come to me with their startup. They're going to go start a business, whatever it may be, okay? They wanted a logo. They wanted business cards. They wanted websites. They wanted all of this shit, brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would go get $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 in debt paying me, right, to go launch their business. And then 3-4 months into all of this getting started, they did nothing with it. They decided, oh, I hated this business, or I didn't actually want to start a landscaping company. And I'm like, dude, you just spent $7,000 to buy marketing materials. Like, what do you mean you don't want to do this? Which is actually the reason I closed down most of my marketing agency that way, because I got so tired of feeling like I sold things to people that they never used. But that's the perfect point. Everybody has that mindset. I get asked every day, because I gave away a ton of free logos, all this kind of logo. Every day I get somebody coming to me getting stuck on their logo. Before they sell a deal, before they pick a skill, before they do any of that stuff, they're trying to get this perfect perfectionist vision of how their logo looks. My logo's changed 7 times since I started my business. Maybe not 7. I think 3-4 different variations in factuality. One right here on the screen, one up here, and then 2 other ones I deleted. But it can change. Pick a skill, evolve from it. Now, skills. The riches are in the niches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Pick one thing, get very good at it. This world doesn't need somebody that's good at everything. They don't want that. They don't need that. They need somebody that's really good at one thing.
100%. It's like you're not Advil. Like, you're not like solving cramps and headaches and bloating and all this. Like, one thing, one problem that you are solving, just one. And it's like, bouncing off of what you just said right there, I think what stifles most people, it's like they see, I think at the root of it, it's like if you're working at a 9-to-5 job right now, or you went to college because you wanted to appease your parents, or you didn't want to think that to yourself that you were a failure because you didn't go to college, or you were just so conditioned to believe that if I don't do that, that I'm never going to make anything with my life. And it's like, I think the biggest issue is like all these people want to go in, like they want to, I think at the root, they want to work for themselves. They want freedom. They don't want to wake up to an alarm clock for somebody else, especially if that boss treats them like shit, doesn't pay them enough money for their time. And it's like, I think at its core, people want freedom. But when they're in the pursuit of starting a business, they want freedom, but they're lacking specificity and they're overcomplicating things. So it's like, I'm going to share my screen reel here because this is something that it's going to make writing an offer. It's going to make taking any idea that's in your head and putting it into a sales message. Like this right here is how good salesmen are made from scratch. And it's like, I have people who I work with on copywriting. I have copy cubs. And when I'm looking at their copy, it's like everyone's trying to write a super amazing story. They're trying to be very like clever with it or cutesy or whatever the hell you want to call it. And they're missing the basics of like what you actually need to tell these people to sell them something. And it's super simple. It's really, really simple. This is all you ever need to do. To sell somebody something, to get somebody to take action. Like, hey, look, if you're watching this right now and you're like, this is cool, I don't want to be a copywriter, I don't want to start my own business. Well, here's some really good news for you. This is applicable to communication in general. If you want to persuade someone to take action on something, you have a friend maybe who's you see so much potential in them, but they're kind of screwing around. You see that they have a lot of potential and maybe they're not living up to it, and you want to help them. You want to inspire that person into action. Well, you need to know how to get someone to take action, and not in a manipulative way where it's like, ha, I have a hidden agenda. I'm going to make you do something and take your money. It's like, if you really have like this intention of like, I know my shit's the fucking best, and I know if you go through it, you're going to get results just like everybody else who went through it got. And it's this is all you need to tell them. This is everything they need to know is one, here is who I am. So basically, this is what you'd call like your USP. And another thing, what this does, it just builds credibility, trust. You want to tell them who you are. Like, so you'd be like, hey, what's going on? My name is Zach Austin, and I show businesses how to 2x their business revenue through email marketing. Something basic like that, but you're telling them who you are. And then the next thing you want to do is very succinctly tell them, here's what I got for you. Here's what the offer is. So now that you told them who you are, you build trust. You're like, here's why you should listen to me. Here's why I am an authority on this topic. Here's why I am a credible source. Here's why you should take my advice. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. And then you're being like, here's what I got. Like, this is the offer itself. Like, this is probably debatably one of the most important things to get down is like, here's what I got for you. Like, what is the offer? Because if you don't have the right offer for your audience, if they don't want the offer, you could have the best sales messaging in the world, the most professional, neat looking page that you could possibly have, and copy that is just like incredible. But it's not going to do well because the offer sucks. You want to get that right. And then the next thing to do is you want to build a sense of urgency. You want to be like, here's what I got for you. Excuse me, here's why it's important for your life. What you're doing right here is like you're building a sense of urgency. It's mentor of mine, John Carlton, taught me something very, very valuable when it comes to writing persuasively, writing good sales copy. And it's every single line that you write needs to pass what's called the so what test. It's basically like you want to appeal, like you're not telling them about the offer and the specs and like it's got this many things and it's like it's HD video. Like they don't care about your offer. They don't care about your product. They don't care about you. They want a result. They want there's a certain lifestyle, a certain idealized lifestyle that they want to be living as a result for going through this. They are buying a result. So when you're saying, here's why it's important for you, well, if I'm selling somebody on how to make money, well, this is important for you because you don't want to work for a boss. You don't want to have to work a 9-to-5 job. You don't want to wake up to an alarm clock. You want to be your own boss. You want the freedom to do what you want, whenever the hell you want to do it. You want to travel. You want to take your family and friends on amazing adventures. But to do that, you need money. You need freedom. You need the full control over your time and schedule and resources. And that's something you can't get at a job. So if you want freedom, if you want that, I'm going to show you how to do it in the next 6 months or your money back. If you show me that you did all the steps that I lay out for you, I'm going to give you all your money back. And then this is the foundation of what direct response is basically based off. And it's like, here's what I want you to do.
Call to action.
Exactly. It's like you are asking for an immediate action. So you're like, you tell them, here's who I am. You're building your credibility and trust. And maybe you're showing them testimonials from other people who have gone through your stuff and have gotten amazing results, or celebrities who have worked with you and are like, this guy is, or this girl is the shit. Listen to them, buy everything they put out. Then you're telling them succinctly, here's what I got for you. Here's what the offer is. And you're being very detailed about it, very clear, and you're making it all about them. And then you're telling them why it's important. Like you're appealing to their self-interest. You're telling it, this is what's in it for you. This is all about you, all about them. And then you're telling them succinctly, here's the actions I want you to take specifically. And then you tell them what happens after they take the action. And this is it. Like literally, I see people trying to like write really cutesy sales letters, trying to make the story super interesting. It's like, you literally can just list each of these out exactly as they're written, minus the stuff that's in brackets. Just be like, here's who I am. Bullet, 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 bullet. Here's what I got for you. Bullet, 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 bullet. Here's why it's important for you. Bullet, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And then you have a call to action at the bottom. I've sold products that were $1,500, $2,000 just with this. You don't need to overcomplicate things. You just need to pick, like, what do I like doing? Is there a market for it? What media am I going to use for it? And then use this to actually write the marketing. And you can use this on video. You can use this on webinar. You can use this on VSLs. You can use this in copy. You can use this on your Facebook, anything.
Anything. So why do you think people overcomplicate things? Why do you think people just don't stick to that stuff? What is the biggest issue you see when you're teaching these kids?
Too much fucking information. Like all these people, like they think like reading a book is taking action. They think that like getting an online course is taking action. They're chasing these shiny objects where they're just like, that looks really cool, I'm gonna try that. And then they'll dabble in it for like a month, be like, oh, that didn't work, even though they didn't really take it that seriously. Then they'll go to the next thing, and then they'll have all these skills and like, hey, what if I combine all of them together? And then what happens are, instead of being amazing at one thing that can make you a lot of money, now you're average or mediocre at 7 things that are never going to make you money because you don't know how to do them correctly. So it's like, you don't need to be Advil. Like, what skill do you like doing? Do you like being on video? Do you want to do most of your stuff on video? You're like, I have a good voice, I have good presence, I want to just be on video and sell that way. Great. Get on Instagram, get on Facebook, post every single day. Build a connection with your audience. Don't just try and pitch them every day. Like, you're not just trying to take their money, but build a real connection with people. But pick a skill. And you can look these up. I mean, the ones that to get you started: email marketing, copywriting, social media managing, public speaking. These are great ones to get started with. I mean, even just content creation.
Yeah, anything in the direct response field, it is going straight out there under that umbrella, dude. That's all magic.
And to wrap around, like when we were both talking about, like, don't start a business, it's once you have capital, so you learn one of these skills, you hit your first $5,000 a month, it's consistent, then maybe you hit 10,000 and you're working for like 1 or 2 clients and you're doing it for them. That way you don't have to build the business, you don't have to build the brand, you don't have to do any of the tech tools, you just have to take your one skill, sell it to another business who's looking for it, by the way, get them results, and then once you have money from that, then use that to be like, okay, I want to teach people how to play music. I want to teach people yoga. I want to teach people how to shoot guns or karate or whatever the hell you want to do. And then you take your resources that you now have, now that you're starting from a position of abundance, as opposed to like, I'm doing this because I need money, and if I don't, I'm not going to pay my bills.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, it's like it eliminates the stress, which is probably the biggest thing that makes people quit. And 2, it's like you have nothing to lose. Like, you have all the time to test. You know, revenue's consistently coming in for you, and it's coming out of your freelancing expenses versus directly out of your pocket.
Yep. Coming from a place of abundance. That is such a powerful thing there that you just said, because too many people are chasing the money, and I've done a bunch of Facebook posts about this lately. Chasing the money, and when you have money coming in, abundance coming in, you know your bills are paid for, you know your cost of living is paid for, you have all of your expenses paid for, your head works differently, your thoughts think differently, your life is different, you see the world differently, you see opportunities differently. So it's so powerful to get to a place of doing that. And now dude, there's so many things I could go into here. Pick one skill. I'm gonna stick on that topic. Pick one skill, because when you pick that one skill, you can go two different ways. If you decide that you fall in love with that one skill, actually, let's do this. This one skill, copywriting or email marketing, or whatever that one high-paying skill is that you choose, that skill doesn't necessarily have to be a skill that you love, that you're in love with, that you're going to do forever. Your point is just to get to something that you're good at, you're semi-interested in, and that you're going to get to a place of abundance. Then what you do is when you're at that abundance, you take that money from abundance and use it as seed money to fuel whatever else that you want to do, because you're coming from a place of leverage, of positivity, of value, instead of it coming from the taking hand when you're at the place of what you really want to do. Because most of the time what you really want to do isn't as high paying. It's harder to build. It's harder to create. It's much more work. But the thing about this section versus this section, you love this. This doesn't actually feel like work. This is play. This is work. This is play. So pick a skill, get good at it. Now, back to this. If you end up falling in love with this skill, let's just say it's copywriting, you get to $10,000 a month and you say, hey, I want to do more. That's when you have the choice of launching your own business. And then you can start hiring people. You can start bringing on other copywriters. You can teach people. You can literally hire in other services, and you start to scale around yourself. Bring it in, build the pieces. But too many people are doing, and this is, I asked, why do you think most people are getting stuck? I agree, too much information. But I think a lot of the times too is because they're comparing their beginning to somebody else's middle and end. They're seeing what Apple is, or they're worked at Amazon or Walmart or whatever this big company is, and they got to see how the cogs were working at that job. They saw all of these Swiss cogs in the watch, and that Swiss watch, whatever, and they thought they needed all those cogs. When all you need is 2 gears. One gear is you, one gear is the client, and all these other gears are just leverage that you can install later.
100%, dude. It's like you don't need to build. You don't need to do everything at once.
Yeah.
You really don't. It's like you can get a really good amount of the way there, just like doing it organically. I mean, like I literally just use my Instagram I built my following over the past 2 years. It's over like 15,000 people now, but it's like, you can literally, like with a following of like 300, 400, 500 people. I mean, shit, put out a $27 offer. Like maybe you're an artist and you just want to teach people how to draw. Come draw with me live. Like look over my shoulder as I do it. Like I'll teach you. And it's like, you have like this low price offer, build a lot of interest. Like it's, it doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
And it's like, it really just is a matter of like, you got to find that thing that makes you forget to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how can you make your life about that?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, social media, like bouncing off what you said, social media is killing people, man. Like you have to look at it this way. You are only seeing the best fucking shit from them. You are seeing 1% of their life.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was looking at an old client of mine's Instagram, and I saw pictures of him like on a private jet and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, how is he doing this? How is he doing this? Like, I don't understand it. And I figure out later that, his friend actually owned the jet company. And so it's like, I think I'm like, how did he go from like, making like less than 10K a month to, flying on a private jet all the time? Like I looked at that and it's like, I should be doing that. Like it gives you that feeling, but then you look at it and it's like, you are comparing yourself to somebody else's fake fucking image. Like, I don't care who it is. Like, yes, it's a real part of their life, but it's such a small fraction. You're not seeing the struggles. You're not seeing the self-doubt. You're not seeing like the unconfidence that they're feeling inside when they do this. You're not seeing the shit. You're seeing what they want you to see. And is it fair of you to compare everything? Like, everything about yourself, the bad, the good, the sexy and the ugly. Everything about yourself, but you're only seeing the good parts of your life. Is it really fair of you to compare everything about you to only the best parts of them? It's just like, be kinder to yourself. And honestly, like my opinion is this, it's like, if you're just on social media, like, and you're not an artist or whatever, and you're trying to just post pictures so you can get likes and all that stuff, and that really matters to you, I'm not hating, like, this may piss you off. It's retarded. Like, but you know what, using, like, leveraging social media as a way to like spread a positive message, or you have something to say to the world and you want to spread it and you're putting it out there, not to like, not caring if people are going to respond back to it because you know that you have something to say, something to give to the world. Or on the flip, doing what we're doing and just looking at it as business media. Social media is retarded. Business media is smart. Because you're looking at it, it's like, one, if you actually have a good service, like you're a personal trainer, you do yoga, personal development, like you have a program or a curriculum or a lucrative online course that actually gets people results, and you're seeing the response and you're seeing the physical results in these people's lives. And why wouldn't you put that out to the world?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why?
I agree. You create. That's a huge thing underneath everything that I talk about. Why? Yeah. Why? A lot of my clients that I personally work with, they all have, everybody, not even just my clients, everybody, anybody that's watching this has a piece of value inside of themselves, right? They have something that they're passionate about or they're learned, or some skills or something throughout their life that they can give value. Why are you not giving the value? Now, one of my friends, okay, that I kind of went in his inner circle, you talk about his business media. That I love that. Social media, yeah, we need to stop thinking of social media as social media. We need to start thinking of it more as service media. How can we help, or how can we serve somebody else? And that's what he told me was to change the perspective, especially when you're wanting to grow on it. Now, I want to go back on that thing that you said might piss everybody off, which is actually the truth. Dude, it is not, guys. We all want to break free. We all want more freedom. We all hate our jobs. I get that. Too many people are using social media as that, posting food, posting whatever just to get likes, because they're addicted to the double tap. They're addicted to the like. They're addicted to the way, because it makes them feel popular. Because in the real life, they're not getting the engagement that they want. Right? A good example of this, actually. So I was for a Jason Capital event. I flew down to Southern California. For a Jason Capital event, was with a bunch of my friends. When we're down there, every night, the last day of the event, it's usually on a weekend, sometimes Saturday, right? On Saturday night, we'll always go down to Costa Mesa or Long Beach, somewhere down there, and we'll go to a bar, go hang out with a bunch of friends. We'll go drink, go dance, whatever, just goof off for a little bit. And while we're in that nightclub, this one time, we were in Long Beach. They have this little section. It's like a VIP section. It was the funniest sight, right? You look over to the VIP section. There's 6 or 7 girls just sitting there in this booth. It's the nicest booth in the place. They have bottle service. They have ice in the center. They have cups and glasses and sparklers and everything. But those girls that are sitting there, they're literally sitting there. Me and my buddy are looking over at them like, dude, they look like they hate their life. But the second that one of those girls pulls out their cell phone, puts on their little selfie light on there, and starts getting on Snapchat, the whole group gets all hyped and lit and starts grabbing sparklers and starts shooting champagne all over the place, and they start going crazy. And then they look at the selfie together like, okay, was that good enough? They audit it. Like, no, I wasn't paying attention. Let's do it over again. And then the whole process stops and they go back to exactly hating their life and sit there. They're not talking to each other, not doing anything. And the process repeats for the whole night. These girls literally 6 or 7 times, every time somebody else pulled out their cell phone, they changed their whole mindset. Again, we're comparing ourselves. There's 2 ways to take this story. We're comparing ourselves to other people's 1%, what they want us to see. You don't see them sitting there in that booth hating their life. You don't see them. But anytime that you ask them outside of that club, how was your night? They're all about, it was the best feeling ever. It was the coolest thing ever. But you didn't really see what happened there. But also, too, that they were creating that content just to impress other people. They were doing it not because they loved themselves, because they loved the likes, loved the attention that they were getting. And so I think that's a horrible way to live. I think it's just going to lead to emptiness, to sorrows, to nowhere, to a dead end. You're doing lines of cocaine in Long Beach.
Yeah, dude. It's like, and just bouncing off like just the idea of like people that you hang around. It's like, if you really look at it, first off, I'm going to share a really quick backstory about me. So 2 years ago, I was still living in Portland, Maine. And so I remember I was living in a 400 square foot apartment. My roommate had a cat, and the cat box was like basically out in the room. There wasn't like a room where you could just like keep it off. So it always smelled like cat shit. The shower head was like super broken, and like there was just a lot like, hair would get in the drain, and it was clogged up. And we were living next door to fucking drug addicts. Like there was like just really gross, like really uncomfortable environment. And I remember being there thinking, it's like, there's no way I can grow here. There's no way I can change here. Like, I was a college dropout. I remember when I first did, both of my parents looked at me super disappointed, being like, you're making a huge mistake. You're not gonna make it. If you don't go, you're gonna be stuck working at like McDonald's or whatever. Like that, this is just what their beliefs were. Not because they were trying to put me down, but just like, this is actually what most people believe. And I knew that if I stayed there, trying to build this business, trying to build my freedom lifestyle. I know it's a cliche term, but trying to build that kind of lifestyle for myself where I really could travel when I wanted, where I really could like build a life of my design, that it's not the status quo. It's like I designed it. I put it to paper and I made it happen. And when I came to that conclusion where it's like, my friends were against it. My family was against it. They're like, oh, you going to these events and getting mentoring for this. Like, you're being taken for a ride. Like, this dude's just taking your money. Like, it's not worth it. And get a text from my buddy from Israel. And he's like, hey, man, I'm going to be moving to Scottsdale, Arizona in 60 days. And obviously, like, you look at this and you're just like, I looked at it and I was like, I can't. I'm not ready. Like in the hero's journey, like you're refusing the call, you're resisting the call to action, you're resisting the change. And then coincidentally enough, 2 weeks later, my roommate comes up to me. He's like, hey, I'm moving to New York City with my sister. I'm leaving here in a month. And I looked at that. I'm like,
perfect.
I'm going. So I got in my car, got rid of all my shit and left. And I started really taking this seriously. And I lived with 2 people who were also building very similar businesses to what I was doing. And I remember the first couple weeks staying there, I would see one of my roommates, literally he would be on his laptop at 6 a.m. and I would still see his ass sitting there at 12 o'clock at night. And I looked at that and I just admired it. Like, no one was telling him to work. He didn't have a boss. He didn't have like a schedule. Like, oh, if you don't do this, you're fired. He's just like, he had this passion, this drive, this fire in his eyes. Like, I'm going to make some shit happen and no one's going to stop me. And ever since then, noticeably, because of those people who I surrounded myself with, it wasn't a coincidence that 8 months later, I moved from an 800 square foot apartment into a penthouse that I'm now going to be like throwing a mastermind at and like turning into a corporate office and buying it out in the next year. And none of that would have happened if I stayed around those people who are like, you can't do this. You're being dumb. Like, go back to college, get a real fucking job. It's like, I was talking with my buddy about this a couple of days, and we were just like, dude, you really have to be fucking insane to be in this line of work. Like, there has to be something like wrong up here, because most people would have quit by now. I'm not like, it's hard. All these fuckers who are telling you, are trying to sell you like these biz op products are like, oh yeah, fastest way to make money with 6 figures, $1 million. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, it's yeah, maybe you can show me how to make money, but it's like, you know what? If you're trying to put the time limit on that, you're like, cool, 60 days are up and I have 100K. So what? Are you done?
Yeah.
That's it. That was the goal. And it's like, you're missing the point. If I just played music to get better at music, or just because like I wanted to play in front of 1,000 people and then I played there, I'm like, great, got there. Well, I didn't actually love the music part. I didn't love learning it. And I love getting better. I didn't love learning how to express myself further in music. I just wanted that result. And it's like, you need to fall in love with the process, and you're not going to love it all the time. There's nothing you're ever going to do in your life where you're going to love it all the time. There's going to be times of stress. And I think George Patton Jr. said it the best, like, pressure makes fucking diamonds. Pressure makes fucking diamonds. Like, that pressure is a good thing. You can't look at stress. You can't look at tedious situations in your life as a bad thing, because they're great. That's when you change. It's like going to the gym. You have to lift heavy weights to get ripped. You got to put pressure on yourself to make diamonds. And it's the same principle here. So it's like, if your friends are draining you, if your family members are telling you you're a fucking moron because you want to be a professional musician, or you want to be an artist, or you want to like, save the fucking puppies so that, whatever, like, do it, please. Like, I'm here for you. Jeff's here for you. We fucking believe in you. Yeah. I think having that belief, like going back to the story that I shared with you at the beginning with my friend's son being like, I think one of the biggest differences was for me was that I had a dad who instilled this belief into me from a very young age that I really can create whatever I want to create. And having someone who like undoubtedly believes you, and it's not coming from like, oh yeah, I'm saying I believe you because I want your money. Like, I actually believe you because I was just like you. I was a broke taxi driver working 80 hours a week. And now I work like 3 or 4 hours a day, making 4 times. And I know that sounds like a brag, but it's not a brag. It's a matter of just like, this is possible for you. Yeah. You can create what you want to create. And, it's like, it's not the process that's stopping you. It's the people around you. It's your environment that's feeding like this certain type of negative vibe. Like, environment really is everything. Like if you are unhappy, if you most of the time, like by the way, if you were depressed or whatever, I'm not giving you any advice about that. I have no strategies for you. But if you feel unhappy, unfulfilled, or whatever, leave the environment that created those emotions.
Yep.
Get in your car, drive away. You don't have to leave forever. Doesn't have to happen, but get in your car and go for a ride. Go find yourself in this world. Go experience who you are, meet new people, create new friendships. Because you can't be sleeping when you're doing that.
I love this. I love all of that. What you just like, too bad Zoom. I mean, the way Zoom records, like it records your face and it records my face. But I wish, while you were saying that, it was recording my face because my smile just went. I like literally had the Grinch's smile where like it goes so big that it starts to curl over here. Like, I'm just like, these words right now are going straight into me. Like, oh my God. What he is saying is the Bible of entrepreneurship, of preach. Like this is what I want you guys to do that are watching this in the replay. I want you to pause this video right now. Like click the pause button. I want you to scroll right back to exactly where he just started speaking a minute ago and rewatch all of that and write notes and do it again. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to read it all. But what he just said, every bit of it is entrepreneur gold. Get in your car, go somewhere else. I lived on a couch for months because I was in a small town in California. I lived on a couch because I hated my situation. And he's telling me this story about drugs. And I just did a Facebook Live the other day that I talked exactly about that same shit. Guess what? I packed up all my shit, got in my car, gave most of it away, lived on a couch. And I had a very similar thing. A buddy of mine just showing up every day. You have to be crazy. Oh my God. Just watch it. Watch it again. Watch it again. Because that was something. You don't hear shit like that very often.
Yeah, man. It's like,
God.
It's super important. Like you need to have your dream team, man. Like you have to have, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Like, but if there's anything I could tell you, like I get so many copywriters who hit me up, like literally over 100 a month. Who are like, Zach, how do I get more clients? Zach, how do I get more clients? And it's like, stop. Like you have to come to this. Like you're speaking to another human being. Mm-hmm. What does that human being want? They want to feel understood. They want to feel like you actually get them, not like, hey, you're just pretending to get me so you can take my money. But like, build friendships with people first. It's a longer game. It really is a longer game. But like, if you're freelancing or whatever, like, go out, meet people, because some of the best business connections, some of the best things that will ever happen to you, business connections, friends, lovers, anything like that, it comes from getting out of your comfort zone, going out and talking to people, and actually taking communication seriously. Like, if you're not at the very least skimming like the idea of like, how do I become a better communicator? How do I communicate effectively? How do I build connections with people very, very quickly? Not in an inauthentic way, but how do I really, truly, fully express myself and live a bold, inspired, and free life? Mm-hmm. It's like your connections are everything. And it's like, if you have dreams in your life, people who are sucking the energy out of you, the vitality out of you, they're putting you down. Those people put themselves down. Those people have given up on their dreams. And it's like, misery loves company. And I'm not saying they're bad people. Like, if you have friends who are like that, I'm not saying like, call your friends up and be like, hey, you're fired. Like, fuck off. I don't ever want to see you again. I'm just being like, limit availability. Like, hang out with those people when they're at their best. Because it's like, for me, I have some friends who we don't have very similar life views, but we play music together and we vibe that way. So when I hang out with them, like, we play. And that's when they're at their best. It's when we vibe. It's when we have a good time. And it's like, you got to be very protective, overly protective of who you share your vision with, because it's your baby. Like, if it's really what you want and really what turns you on and just lights you up and just gives you that extra pep in your step, you don't want to just share that with anybody. Like, would you give somebody your little baby and then let them take a shit on it?
No.
It's like, that's your baby. Like, you're not going to let anything happen to it. And it's an extreme example, but it's like, it's very true. Like, that vision of yours that you have, like, take time on it, and it's going to change as you change. Mm-hmm. And it could be as simple as like, just for the next 15 minutes, I want to be super productive. That's my mission right now. And then after that 15 minutes over, live with purpose, live with intention. And you'd be really surprised when it's yours. Like, strip the layer of bullshit, the layer of crap that everybody else told you that you should do. Parents, friends, people, even people that you trust, and just like, lock yourself in a fucking room. Go for a walk. Do not take your phone with you. Nothing with you. Go for a walk for the day. Take a notepad with you and just sit there for 5 hours. You'll be bored as fuck. But take that piece of paper and really just like do this as much as you can. Like, what do I want? Why do I want it? Why do I say why that I want it? Like, and just get super clear on that.
Soul searching. Soul searching.
Yeah.
Dude, I love all of that. For me, I did all of that too. And I tie everything back, and I sound like masochistic or egotistical or whatever the hell the word is, where it's like narcissistic, whatever, right?
I mean, you have to have a little bit of an egotistical vibe to actually have the amount of confidence to be like, yeah, I can, I'm my own boss. I can really like, yeah, it's not a bad thing.
A lot of the stories that come from me are just from my past experiences. So I tell the same stories, but when I was doing that, right? So I remember several times in my life where I went and sat down. You say, go sit down, grab a piece of paper, sit there for 5 hours. I don't know how many times in my life I've done that. Tons. But the most successful one was when I was traveling Europe. I was gone for just over a month. I sat there on trains traveling Europe, saw how real people lived. I went to the Nazi death camp Auschwitz in Poland. I saw the Berlin Wall. I saw the Eiffel Tower. I saw in Paris people living on top of each other because it's just too expensive to live like there. Like they're like, it's insane how people live in Paris, and like, it's not even a worse part of the world. And it's just like I traveled. I saw a ton of different things. I saw Poland, where literally there's still bullet holes basically in damaged buildings from World War II in Poland, and the Berlin Wall where people died trying to hop over and hair stacked up to the roof in Auschwitz. And you're just like, you don't have to go do all those extreme examples. You don't have to go, but dude, you do need to go experience something else. You need to bust out of the norm. That's what I'm trying to say here. You get out of where you're at, where you're sitting today in your funk, where you're working on your computer, break out of the cycle for a little bit. Step out of the picture frame, because when you're inside the picture, you can't see the frame clearly. So step outside, then take a look back inside yourself. And so as I traveled, as I sit on trains and I saw all these things, I got a clearer view of the world around me. I got a clearer view of who I was. And I sat there with pen and paper every time I was on a train, because the train rides were 3, 4, 5 hours, and I would have my music in or my keyboard open, and I would just be writing notes of what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What do I want in my life? What am I doing? Where am I going? It's powerful. What he just said is powerful, because if you don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to get there?
100%, dude. Success loves clarity. Success loves clarity. Like when most people set goals, and it's like, look, like, if you're not good at setting goals, like, it's not your fault, man. Like, there's like all these skills right here, like how to make money on your own terms, not by working for someone, like how to make your own money, how to build connections with people, how to communicate your standards, your boundaries, your desires, and your aspirations with somebody else, like, and how to like get people on board with a mission. They don't teach you this shit in school, like how to actually achieve a goal and how to like plan it. It's like when most people make goals, they're like, hey, I want to get ripped this year.
Mm-hmm. How? What does ripped even mean?
Yeah, like you want to be super meticulous about like what are the exact steps that you're going to take, what time of the day are you going to take them, what is the deadline, and it's like, and most importantly, this is the most important one, what happens if you don't do it? What do you lose? Like you have to hold yourself accountable. It's and by the way, like we're not sitting over here being like we're masters of this. It's something you have to catch yourself on. There are gonna be days where you feel lazy. It's like I don't want to do fucking shit. I just want to sit in my bed, just like nap all day and recharge. And it's like sometimes you just gotta snap yourself out of it and do it, and it sucks. But you know, the end result, like that vision that you have, if it really turns you on and you really like get super excited that you're just like, you can't contain the excitement, there's no reason why that should be a problem. But it's like, if it is a problem and you're like, I just can't snap myself into doing it, it's like, well, then maybe you should ask yourself, is this really what I want to be doing with my life? Because if you're ever like hitting snooze on the alarm clock, or you're like, oh, it's Monday, I fucking hate my life, or yes, it's Friday, finally, I can have a good time. Well, you're doing the wrong thing then, because life is short. You spend most of it at work. And if you don't love what you're doing, like, I don't want to see anybody watching this get to the end of their life and be like, you know, I really wish that I just took more action. I really wish that I was bolder. I really wish that I took more chances and betted on myself and didn't just listen to my parents or try to make them proud of teachers or whatever. Like, just there's an air of selfishness that you have to have, unfortunately. And it's like, you're not taught this. It's actually, it's especially in our Western culture, it's almost shamed for you to be selfish in any way. And it's like, if you aren't making yourself happy, if you aren't doing everything so you make your environment, your home, your perfect life, like to the point where it's like vacations are just the cherry on top of the cake. Like, if you're not living like that, well, it's going to lead to unfulfillment. It's going to lead to bitterness, and it's a choice. But it's a choice.
Dude, I want to talk about that too. You said that's powerful right there. Like, I don't want anybody watching this video to get to the end of their life feeling unfulfilled and feel like they didn't do what they did or wanted to do in their life. If you go to any retirement home on the planet, for any of you guys watching this, I challenge you to do this. Spend some time around old people that are end of their days and go ask them what their biggest regrets are.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them, all of them. Every single person isn't going to say they regretted the issues they did. They didn't regret the pains. They didn't regret the failures. The number one regret, every single one of them are going to tell you, I promise you, is that I didn't bet on myself. I didn't follow my dreams. I didn't spend more time with my family. I didn't do what I wanted to do. I followed the rules. And I didn't have to. Go out there and just challenge the rules, dude. Go take risks. They regret that they didn't take enough risks. They regret that they didn't try hard enough. They regret, dude, the only person that lives with regret is the person that didn't do. So why are you not doing? You know, most of the time you're scared. You're scared that other people are going to judge you. You're scared that the world's going to talk shit about you. You're scared that your friends aren't going to, right? You're scared. I get that.
It's like, yeah, if you don't want anybody to say anything bad about you, just say nothing, do nothing, and fucking be nothing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what you do.
But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the only people that are going to talk shit about you, the only people that are going to look down upon you, the only people that are going to judge you are people that are doing less than you. The only people that are going to talk shit and look down upon you are people that are doing less than you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your goals. They're doing they're literally trying to hold you back. That's why they're talking shit. So why does their opinion really matter in the first place? No, dude. Their opinion doesn't pay your bills. Their feelings don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I love that. I love what, dude.
Like this right here, guys, is hands down the most important thing to understand here. Like, you're gonna get hate. Just be ready for it. Like, learn to feel sympathy for those people, because the ones who are hating on you, you know what? They're just like, they're miserable. Misery loves company. And it's if they're talking to you like that, really, I would challenge you to try and look inward and think, how badly do they treat themselves if they treat just a random person they don't know like that? Like, I guarantee you, if someone's treating you like shit, they treat themselves 10 times worse. Because you know what you do. So it's like, if you love yourself, if you like, not in like a narcissistic way, but just a genuine love and respect and appreciation for yourself. Like, I'm a great human being. I have a lot of value to give to the world. Yes, I make mistakes. Yes, I fuck up. But you know what? That's also beautiful, because that gives me a chance to grow. That gives me a chance to change and like resolve my mistakes. And that helps me build up a new skill. And it's, that's the biggest thing. It's like, just, you have to have this belief in yourself that you really can do anything. And that's something where you, like, everybody's trying to look for it externally. They're like, somebody is just going to like come into my life and save me from this life of like misery. And I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not saying you're miserable. It's not what I'm suggesting. It's like, just is going to like bring me excitement. They're going to create this event that is just going to be amazing. And I'm so excited for it. But you know what? That person ain't coming.
No, dude.
He's not coming. That person is you. The person you're waiting for is you. The person you're waiting for is you to get out of your shell, start creating amazing events, business, socially, health, whatever it is, and then actually bringing people to it.
I want to build on that real quick. The person is you to start. Because, dude, here's the thing, right? You're miserable, and that maybe you're not miserable, but you're not in a place that you're satisfied. You're not in the place that you're happy with. You're not exactly waking up. You hate your life more or less. With maybe hate's too heavy, but you get the point. You're not happy where you want to be. Nobody's going to show up and save you until you start to show up and save yourself. You start doing the work. You start showing up. You start figuring out where you want to go. You start doing the things that you need to do. You start training your head. This is important here. Your mind is malleable. So you get a choice. You either brainwash yourself, or the CNN, the news, the all internet is going to brainwash you, right? You believe it, you can achieve it. So you choose to brainwash yourself for positive thoughts. And what happens is the universe starts to bring people to you. The universe will start bringing people to you to help you. No one's going to save you to start with. You choose to be saved, but then the magic happens. And more relationships are going to be built because they're going to have the same feelings with you. They're going to have the same paths as you. They're going to have the same purpose as you. They're going to be going down the same direct. They want the same things that you do. When you decide what you want and where you're going, it's like the Wizard of Oz, right? Dorothy lands in the Wizard of Oz, squashes the house, and she decides that she wants to go home. But all that she knew that she wanted is to go home. And she starts telling everybody that she wanted to go home. If she didn't know that she wanted to go home, do you think the Munchkins would have called the wizard of whatever, the little fairy godmother that came in her bubble and said, follow the yellow brick road? No, because she'd have been like, I don't know where I'm going. And so that little fairy godmother person would never have been able to tell her to follow the yellow brick road. She might have taken the red brick road. There literally was a red brick road in that movie. Nobody realizes that. Where did the red brick road go? I don't know. But she followed the yellow brick road. Guess what happened? As she started to go down that path, she just kept saying over and over and over, I'm going to get to Oz. I'm going to get to Oz. I know where I'm going. Then the scarecrow shows up. The lion shows up. And everybody else started to show up in her life to help her down the process to get to where she wanted to go. Obstacles hit her. Shit happened. But guess what? She had friends around her to help her through the circumstances. But she made the decision first. That's the important part. You help yourself, then other people will magically start to help you.
It reminds me of a very, very interesting Carl Jung quote. And it's loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from not being able to communicate the things that seem important to you. Mm-hmm. It's like you're not lonely because you don't have people. In fact, like if you can't spend a weekend by yourself without talking to anybody and actually have a good time, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be blunt. There's something wrong with you. Like if you can't, like that's a great way to test it. Like go somewhere by yourself for the weekend. Don't talk to anybody. No social media posting, no texting. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, just be like, I'm leaving for the weekend, and like really test this out, because it's like it's true. Loneliness doesn't come from having no people around you. It's like, and it really does come from just being misunderstood, like you not being able to communicate, you express your raw personality to 100% of its fullest intensity. It's so, and this is applicable to business too. It's like no one's going to buy from you if you can't effectively communicate your message, your mission. Like if there's nothing for them to get behind, if they can't personally relate to you, if they can't like see the value up front of your offer, and like it's like, wow, this guy just explained my problem better than I ever could have verbalized it myself. And like I really like the idea. And it's like I trust him. Like his story is so similar to mine. It's like this is why communication is so important, because like if you can't get somebody behind your message, if you can't attract my attention, you can't sell me your product. You can't get me on board with your mission. But if you don't capture that person's attention, you're fucked.
Yep. And the only way you're ever going to attract their attention too, we'll go back to that story we just talked about, is knowing exactly where you're going, knowing exactly what you're doing. The guy who's chasing, this is a Tony Robbins saying, I was in his whole mastermind course that he's doing right now. Chase 2 rabbits, catch none. Right? And that's what you're talking about earlier, right? You're having all of these different skills. You're doing all these different things. You're having all of these cool ideas of where you're going. Look, it's okay to have multiple streams of income. It's okay to have all that kind of stuff once you got in there. But when you're getting started, chase 2 rabbits, catch none, because when you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. And again, I threw 7 different cliche sayings out there. But it all comes down to everything we're talking about here. Be very clear, live on purpose, have a clear message, know where you're going, know what you want, and know exactly who you want to help. Because when you can be clear, live on purpose, be okay with who you are, you know what's going to happen. Then you control it, right? You control your surroundings, your atmosphere. You control your life.
And it's interesting too. It's like if you were like me and you were ever like, you got bullied through school, or you just kind of like, I don't want to say doormat, but I mean I was the kind of person where I literally let people walk over me. I didn't express my boundaries. I didn't express what I didn't know myself enough to be like, this is what I give to the world and what I don't give to the world. This is what I expect from people who are friends with me and what I won't tolerate from people who are friends with me. And it's just like knowing yourself to that point where you can communicate that with someone. Like you have to have this knowledge of yourself, that you know yourself so well that when a boundary comes up, you know how to communicate it without being an asshole. That when you have something to offer someone, you know yourself so well, you know your own story so well, you are so real about it, like the good and the bad, both. You want to show people both because it humanizes you. And it's like when you know yourself that well, it becomes very easy. You'll just notice that like your relationships with people improve. I remember when I started really taking a look into it and be like, why do I let people walk all over me? Like, why do I not express myself? And when I learned this whole idea of like, having boundaries and having standards and being very vocal about them with people, like not in an asshole way, or like, oh, you have to follow my standard, but just actually like having a real conversation and communicating. Like if someone like is mean to you, or if someone does something that you don't like and you don't say something about it, you're shooting yourself in the foot every time because it kills your confidence. You are literally subconsciously communicating to yourself, it is okay for people to walk all over me and treat me like a doormat. And when you take that into your career or into your relationships, it affects everything. Your health. It affects everything, man. Like you have to be able to communicate effectively with people. I think like if there's any skill I could say that you really should learn first, like has everything to do with business, but it's also not a business topic. It's a people topic. It's a social topic. It's like become a master communicator. Like really take a dive into it. It's like, because perfect example. If anybody ever asks you, like, this is just a great way to get started, you can even go test this out today and you'll see an instant result from this. Next time somebody asks you, how are you doing? Never, ever, ever answer that question with good. Ever. You know why? Because when you do, well, that person, like literally, it's a pattern that people run. Someone says, how are you? You're like, good, how are you? And it's like, you don't stand out. That person doesn't, like, you don't have their attention. It's just like, it's a pattern that they're so used to. It's like, next time you go out, somebody asks you how you're doing, just be like, I feel incredible. I just had the best breakfast this morning, eggs and bacon. Like I cooked them just right. And now like you're giving people things to pick up on, things to relate to you. Like it's not a matter of talking about yourself, but like you're telling them, you're giving them, you're disclosing something about you. You have to understand, like, most people are not good communicators. Like you're not good at conversation. When you give them hooks to bite on, whether it's sales, whether it's someone you want to date, whether it's someone you want to build a friendship with or a connection with, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be okay with sharing these parts about yourself. Like, you know, even if it's controversial, like say, for example, like we're just going to talk about this very briefly, but like, let's say you like Donald Trump and then, you know, back when the thing was, and then the other person liked Clinton and you guys are best friends, but you're talking about it. Most people, when they have conversations like that, they get angry. They start yelling at each other or attacking, being like, oh, you're fucking wrong. And it's like having the ability to communicate your beliefs without putting down somebody else's, actually having an effective conversation with somebody. That's how you're going to close people on the phone. That's how you're going to overcome people's objections. That's how you're going to sell things online through video, or that's just how you're going to make friends, like real friends. And that's how you're going to make sure that you don't make friends with ones who you aren't meant to be. Half the people who you meet, you shouldn't like, and they shouldn't like you. I'm not even kidding. If you are real, raw, and blunt, business, social, whatever, most of like you should have like that. You know, you're focusing on like half the people you meet are gonna fucking love you, half of them are gonna fucking hate you, but every single one of them will know you.
Yeah, dude, you don't need everybody. I love all this conversation. There's so much you just said. Sales. I always preach 3 skills for entrepreneurship: sales, marketing, mindset. I think the root of sales is communication, right? That's why I tell everybody to go into sales, because it's the only way that I personally know that you can start to learn the communication skills of how to talk and convey and agree and understand, and exactly what you said there, push your opinions and your perspectives without offending other people's opinions and their perspectives, because it's totally okay to have 2 different opinions, except even opposite opinions and perspectives. That's cool. And then the last thing that you said there that was very powerful is that half the people are going to love you, half the people are going to hate you. Maybe that number is not true. Maybe it is. Maybe it doesn't. The number doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be half. Doesn't need.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not like Google, so I don't have like your exact stats.
But the moral of exactly what you said is that you don't need everybody. That's the important message there. You do not need everybody. You don't want everybody, in fact, in your circle. You only need a select few, right? That's why people, God, I could talk to you for hours.
I know it. How long have we been going so far?
I have no idea, but what I can say is this, dude. Is everybody gets stuck up on the follower numbers, right? They want to know how many followers they have, and they want to get more followers and more followers and more followers. So they get caught up in thinking that they need everybody, they want everybody. They don't really realize how big this world is.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that they need everybody to get rich. They think that they need everybody to get their life on order. And that's not the truth, dude. Here's the thing. I talk about super followers all the time. I talk about having just serious relationships, very deep relationships. And this is why, dude. You need 1,000 people in your circle to give you $1,000. That's $1 million. In order to be a millionaire, you need to have 1,000 super followers to give you $1,000. And you made $1 million.
Exactly. And here it's like the last thing I wanted to cover here, because I think like this is another one of those big things that freezes people up when they're starting to try and make money online. And it's this idea of imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Idea of imposter syndrome, and it's this feeling of like, hey, I have these skills now. I've been studying copy and I've been writing for the past year, and I feel like I'm getting really good at it. But it's like I don't have an expertise. I'm not good at anything. Or if you're picking something where you're like, I am good at this, but you're about to put it out, but you don't because you're like, I shouldn't be teaching this. I'm not good enough. I can't keep up with the rest of them. And it's like, here, let me put you to ease. If you don't have the expertise now, find somebody who does, and enable them to take action. Meaning, like, if you, like, say for example, you have a dream, like right now, like maybe you're not the most ripped in the world, but you want to be a personal trainer, and right now you're working on your body, but you just don't feel like you're there. Well, you know what you do? You write the offer, you write the copy, you do the heavy lifting, because by the way, 90% of your time should go into the marketing. And 10% of your time should actually go. Like, I've seen people make millions with a fucking phone held up to their face in a hot tub, and that was sold for $1,500. So like, it's like you don't need to focus on the product that much. It's a matter of like the message, looking at the market, like, do they really want this? Like, you're not making shit up. Like, we're not like good writers. It's a matter of like you go into the market and you look for the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you don't have, so back to the imposter syndrome thing, it's like, if you really do feel like that, you know what? That's okay, because until you are at that point where you're like, great, you find somebody who already has the expertise. Like, you want to teach somebody how to make money, maybe you can't do it yourself. What I'm doing is I'm finding other people, and I'm building a dream team, because I can teach people copywriting and I can teach people email marketing, but I want to teach people how to build one funnel, one offer, one sales marketing message, and get up to 5 to 10K in the next 6 months. And to do that, I know that I can't do that alone, nor would I ever make somebody pay me to do it for them alone. So I found people in the industry who are super well known, have lists of over 1 million people, and we're going to leverage their expertise and their brand and their face to be behind it. So if you can't do it alone, great, that's awesome. Build a dream team. Because one, you'll do it faster, and two, you're not going to feel like an imposter, because you know what? You're doing what you're good at. You're focusing on just your skills. You're not trying to be Advil. You're just trying to be like, cough drop. That's it. You're just healing coughs. And then when you do that, then you enable other people who have that expertise, and you build a team, and you give them an equal cut if they want to be part of the full thing, or if they're just going to be the face of the product, and you pay them to be like, hey, how much do you make an hour? Oh, great. You make $50 an hour? Great. Can you give me 2 hours? I'll pay you $400. I'll pay you 4 times what you're making right now for you to record this curriculum for me. I already wrote the content. I wrote the sales message, but I just want you to be the face of it. Would you be cool with that? And I'll give you a cut. I'll give you a percentage of the revenue. Great. Sounds amazing. And now you no longer feel like an imposter. That's option one. Option two is like, look at it this way. Say right now I'm going to use music. Say right now, like, you want to teach people how to play drums or guitar, whatever the hell it is. And you're looking around, you see on YouTube, and you're looking at the pros, and you're like, I can't play like that. Why should I teach people music? Like, I'm not at that level yet. But you know what? It's like, if you're better than them, then to them, you are an authority. You are a credible source because you play better than them. You have to look at it from that. It's like, if they're just like, I really like the way you play, and it's like, great, $97 will get you on a Skype call or a Zoom call. You play for me. I'm going to give you pointers. I'm going to give you an action step, like an instant action step plan for the next month. And then we'll meet again. If you want to do another one, you just hit me back up. We sign you up for another schedule. We can keep the process going. And it's like, am I fucking like Victor Wooten on the bass or Stanley Clark or whatever? No. But you know what? It's still a point where like if they like what you do and you're getting that kind of feedback, and you're like, hey, some people will just straight up be like, hey, can you teach me how to draw? Hey, can you teach me how to play? Hey, can you teach me how to shoot guns? Hey, can you teach me how to do yoga? Hey, can you teach me meditation? It's like when you're posting content every day and you're doing everything that Jeff and I told you guys in this video, and you're like all those gears are running at the same time, and you're posting consistent content, people are just going to start hitting you up and be like, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do this? And then just DM them back and go back and forth, and they feel like they're hearing from a friend. They're like, oh my God, he's talking directly to me. Like, this is amazing. And that's option two. It's like, if they buy from you, they already see you as a credible source.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not like quote unquote expert, like, by the way, like there's no finish line. I don't see the book here, but there's a book by a guy named David Data. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. And it is he says this for men, but I mean, like, I think this is applicable for humans in general, is that man's greatest burden is hoping for completion. It's not the exact quote, but our greatest mistake, the greatest mistake that we make as humans is like, we are moving towards completion. We want to complete a task. It's in our thing. Like, we are, as Aristotle said, teleological creatures. We are goal oriented. We want to set a goal so we can achieve it, and then it's done, and then we feel fulfilled. But the truth is that's not how it works. It's never over. You stop growing when you die. You stop evolving and changing and maturing and becoming wise. That stops when you die.
Yeah, like, Vince Lombardi has a very similar quote. He's like, the path to success is in the pursuit of perfection. And the words pursue, right? Because we all know that we're never going to be perfect, but we can pursue perfection, and there is no finish line. There is no finish line. You're never going to be perfect. Yeah,
it's like what you'll normally find, like, so say right now, you're like I was when I first started. You're working at a 9-to-5 job. You have this idea that you want to make money for yourself or work as your own boss, online or offline, and you want to get up to 5K a month or 10K a month or whatever in the next couple of months or the next year, whatever your deadline is. It's just one of those things where, just get started. Like, literally just get started. It's if you're starting from that position from a 9-to-5 job and you want to move towards that, like, find someone who's already really good at it. Like, find someone who's really, really good at it, and then how can you offer that person value? Like, when I say value, I mean, like, how can you build a connection with that person? How can you, if you don't ask, you don't receive. Like, it's amazing, like, what can happen for your life. It just be like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Hey, can I do this for you? Hey, I'd like to do your marketing for you. Hey, I'd like to help you create the content for your social media. Hey, I would like to help you design your next live event and sell it out. And it just goes on from there. But it's like, if you want out of the 9-to-5 job, it's like you have to shut off the noise. You have to stop listening to other people. You have to stop following what your friends and your family are doing, because if you don't want to live their lifestyle, you don't follow what they're doing. But it's a matter of, like, just get started. Literally just get started. There's all the information you need is there already. You have it. You can find it. It's there. You just pick one. Stick with it. Consistency, mastery. But it's like, make a conscious effort to just keep growing, and be stubborn about the outcome, like what you want, your vision. But the process to get there, like, if you're trying one way and it doesn't work, pivot. I've tried over 9 different ways to make money online in the past 2 years, and it wasn't until try number 9 that I actually experienced success. And after I hit that 9th thing, it's been almost a year, and it's been almost, like, I'd like to say a year now that I haven't worked a real job. And it doesn't have to be hard. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, if you are, like, say you're my age, like you're in your 20s right now, or hell, you're in your 30s and you're working a 9-to-5 job, you only need, like, 5 to 8K a month. Which, by the way, if you're doing like a high ticket kind of like business to business transaction, and each client is worth like 1,000, 2,000, you need 5 or 6 yeses to hit that goal and stay there consistently, and then you're out. It's not easy, but the process is simple.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta have the environment. It's like, So many people, like, they'll pay $100,000 for a degree, but they won't pay somebody a dime to go out there and learn from like a really amazing marketer, or be like, hey, that kind of person's like living the kind of lifestyle I want. I want to go learn from them. I'm going to, like, it just amazes me. Like, people will just pay $100,000 for a piece of paper that guarantees them nothing. But they, like, say if you're building a business, or like maybe you're already a copywriter, you're already dabbling in this, but you want to like really like take off. Go hire someone, pay them $1,500, be like, here's my entire business outline. Here's the funnel, here's the offer, here's my audience, here's everything. And then have them look over it and go over it and then launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's powerful right there alone. Find somebody else that knows what they're doing and ask them for advice. I don't know how many people that pick a plan or pick a topic or whatever that they're going to get started, and they decide that they're going to, instead of hiring somebody else to do the work for you always, right? A lot of this is where my marketing agency kind of comes in. A lot of people, like, again, they try to hire out all the projects. Not that you can't hire out all the projects.
Mm-hmm.
First, learn from somebody, learn from people like you, like me, that actually know what they're doing, to get a good understanding that you actually know, right, that you're hiring the right people. Then hire it out, right? Hire somebody to look over your plan. Hire somebody to look over your process. Hire somebody to figure out that it works. And then if you want to hire other people out, great. Because what's going to happen is you're going to hire somebody that knows what they're doing, that tells you right, and they're going to look at your plan, your process, your system, and they're going to be like, no, it's broke here. But if you went out and you tried to hire a marketing agency, they're not going to tell you it's broke. They're still just going to sell you that system to you and charge you $5,000 a month until you're bankrupt and you're not making any money, because that's what you wanted. So go out there, find people that are trustworthy, learn from them, and then go from there.
A great way for you guys to get started is like, take baby steps. Like, a lot of people are just trying to dive head first into a 20-foot pool, like, and they can't swim. And it's one of those things where it's just like, go out in the world today and ask somebody to take an action. The whole idea of business, the whole idea is literally just getting someone to take an action. It's like, ask somebody to do you a favor, and not like in a manipulative way. Just be like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Can you keep an eye on my jacket for me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're going to fly out somewhere. Hey, ask one of your friends to take you to the airport.
Yeah.
Tell them that you'll give them gas money. The same kind of principles apply. Like, take small risks first. Get used to being comfortable asking people to do something, and preferably like get used to asking people for money. Like, if you have like this belief of like, I don't want to ask people for money, I just want to give them free stuff. It's like, well, you need to take a look at that. It's like, if your stuff is really that good and it's really that valuable, that's where, and you're solving a major problem for the person who's going to buy it, and they know it, and you know it, that person's glad to pay you money. They're looking for it. They are looking for you. And it really comes down to just like having this comfort and having like the self-assuredness to ask for what you want. Like, ask people to do what you want them to do. If it's like, so many people dance around the issue, like dating, for example. Like, I see so many guys like go up to girls and they're trying to hide the fact that they want to have sex with them. They're trying to hide the fact that they feel like super attracted to them. And instead of just being like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, I want to take you home and just see what you're all about, and then move on to the next thing and state their intentions clearly. It's like, maybe you wouldn't say it like that, but it's like, if you like, stay on the whole dating thing, like, if you're a guy or a girl and you're in a relationship with someone, and you're about to be in a relationship with someone, you're like, look, I don't want to close myself off to other people. Well, instead of lying and cheating, well, how about you just tell them, look, I'm not closing myself off to other people. There's still parts of me that I want to express, and I don't want to close myself that off. And if you're not cool with that, I want you to feel like you have the choice where I'm not lying to you. I'm being very upfront to you. And if you're not cool with that, then you can just leave, and like, that's fine. But it's like, you're stating your intentions. You're being like, this is who I am. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to hide who I am. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to say this thing because it's going to affect that person in a bad way, or it's going to trigger them. Or it's like, if people can't handle the truth, if they can't handle you, then they don't deserve to be in your life. If people are really affected by you and your real personality, why do you want that person around? Because they're just going to make you feel bad about what you do. You want to find someone who loves the real you. It's like, back to this bare bones of communication. It's like, if you have bad relationships with people, like you don't have great friendships, or you don't have good relationships or whatever. In my case, it was because those people became friends, or those lovers fell in love with me for the wrong me. They fell in love with the fake me, this bullshit fucking front that I was trying to put out to people. When you finally strip that layer off and you're like, you know what? I'm already proven and qualified. I don't have to prove myself to anybody else. I don't have to make anybody believe what I believe. It's just I'm allowed to believe what I want, and you can believe whatever you want, and I respect you, and I admire you, but it's like you stick by it. And if like you're really wrong and you know you're wrong, like admit it. That's okay too. You're allowed to have a strong opinion about something, to be like, you know what, I guess I can see it from your way. Like, maybe I'm wrong. And it's like, be super like almost obnoxiously open with people, like not like in a way where you're telling them weird shit that they don't need to know, but it's like whatever your real intention is when you're going and talking to someone, like whether it's in business or it's a relationship, state your intention up front. To be like, what, like, what I usually do in my sales messages, if we're trying to pitch somebody into like a high ticket, like certification course or something like that, 9 times out of 10, I'm just going right for it. I'm like, hey, do you want me to show you how to make an extra 5K in the next 6 months per month and turn that 5K into 10, 15, or 20,000? I'm looking for 10 serious people right now to take under my wing and certify as a copywriter or certify as an email marketer or whatever it is. And, if you think you're one of those 10 lucky people, simply reply back to this and say, I'm in, and I'm going to get back to you with all the details. We'll get on the phone and we'll see if we're a good fit for each other. It's bold. It's upfront. I'm telling you exactly what I want you to do. I'm not being like, I'm not making it like I'm ashamed to sell this to you. I'm like, dude, look at how amazing all my other students are doing. They're killing it. This dude's making 40K. This dude's making 10K, like whatever it is. And you're like, you want this too? If not, it's cool. Like I have a big waiting list. I don't need you, but it's like you're asking for what you want, unapologetically, shamelessly. And that's the key. It's like, here's the secret. If you look like you know what you're talking about, like you present yourself like you look like you're sure what you're talking about, you are certain about it, that's all you need for credibility. People want to follow someone who's certain because they are living in a world where most people are walking around like a chicken with their head cut off. They don't know where they're going. They can't see where they're going. They don't want to see where they're going. And it's like, if you stick around that, you become that. So it's a matter of like, you got to break out of it. You really got to break out of that box. And it really does come from simply just asking for what you want. For example, like I remember in school, I used to be super afraid to ask to get up and go to the bathroom. It's stupid because like there was a rule, like you have to sign out, and it's like you'd have to ask, and I would always be afraid to ask. And it can be something as simple as that. You have to really take like, where in my life am I afraid to ask for what I want? Whether it's like, you want to go ask out that person that you had your eye on, or you want to go network with that person who you think is amazing, and you want to build a connection with them. Like you got to go there. You got to be the plug. They're not going to do it for you. And you have to be certain about it. You have to know that like, I really can bring value to this person's life. And even if you don't think that way, some of the best closes I've ever had was like, dude, I don't know if this is going to work for you at all. It could fucking bomb. Like I know what I've done for other people, but I also know nothing is guaranteed. And I'm not going to sit here and promise you like this is definitely going to happen. Like I'm a superhero. I can make anything happen. People want to see, like, especially in sales, that you're a human being, and you admit something, be like, you know what, honestly, I don't think this is my best work. Like, I think it could have been a lot better, but I saw the response back from it. Like, it was poorly put together. Like the page looks like crap. I think the videos could have been done better and been more actionable, but we've been getting good results. And if you still want to, you're telling them the good stuff about it, but you're also humanizing it, being like, I'm not perfect, and neither is this, and it's not supposed to be. Yeah. I don't know about you, man. I think that's like a lot.
Yes.
Again, yeah. for one video.
Well, let's wrap it up here and say, look, dude, tell us about. I know that you're working on a mastermind that we're talking about here, going to an event in Penthouse. You mentioned a couple of times. Are we the place where you can actually tell people a little bit about it? I know the details are kind of tough.
Yes. So basically, what's happening there is so 8 months after I got really serious into the copywriting thing, after I landed my first client and I really just like started planting my flag there, I landed a really, really big client, and actually not only is a client now, but he's also a business partner. So he's like a business partner that also pays me. But it's like one of those things where, he has a huge following. He has a huge audience already. And what we're doing right now is he is incredible at building online courses, like, info products, turning, even if you have no expertise right now, like how to build an expertise basically over a weekend by like finding out the best books on the topic, immersing yourself into like just the most important points of the book, and really getting a foundation understanding and turning it into an information product. And then taking that information product, writing one sales funnel for it, which maybe has like one or two upsells and then a back end to it. And then that's it. So literally one offer, one sales funnel, one strategy, that's it. And what we're doing is we're taking local business owners and 9-to-5 workers, and we're showing them how to create a social media strategy, a copywriting and email marketing strategy, a content designing strategy, and how to actually put it out to the world. How to make it profitable up to 5K in the first 6 months, and take that 5K and turn it to 10, 15, or 20, or however big you want to build it. And that idea came up when we were basically just looking at it. We saw all the interest from the 3 people who were bringing on with this. And a lot of people wanted to get into it. It's like, yeah, I don't want to work in my 9-to-5 job anymore. All the stuff that I'm seeing online is like, I feel like they're taking me for a ride. There's all these people who are just like buying models and taking pictures in front of like, rented Lamborghinis, trying to pretend they're the shit. And I'm just like, I'm looking for something real. And we looked at this and it's like, you know what? I'm not promising you I'm going to make you 6 figures. I can't promise you that I can make you $1 million, but I do know that if you come here and you do all the steps as we lay out for you and we take you under our wing, that in the next 6 months to a year, you're going to have at the bare minimum one offer, one funnel, one content strategy that's making you at least 5K a month.
Yeah, what I can promise, I always say this, dude, is that you're going to have much more chances of being successful if you're showing up than the people who never showed up.
Yeah, it's like we're bringing some of the top like I can't mention their names because it's a privacy thing, but like, if anyone were to sign up, like you'd find out who they are, but they're the top marketers in the world. In fact, if anybody else here knows who Jason Capital is, his actual copywriter, who is also a copywriter who did work with Ty Lopez, is going to be at this event. And he's going to be taking part in showing people how to write sales letters, creating an offer. So literally like how it works is by the time you leave like the workshop, you're going to already have your product, your social media strategy, and your sales messaging and your funnel all mapped out. And all you have to do is either go out and do it by yourself, or we have an option where we take you under our wing, work with you for 6 months to a year. And by the end of that 6 months to the year, you're already profitable.
Yeah, we're going to. Dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
And obviously, I got Jeff over here who's going to be scheming with me.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Like it's exciting. It's fun, dude. I love things like this. Because dude, there's not enough opportunities in this world where you actually get to go to a place and hang out with like-minded individuals. The rest of the world, we're hanging out with minnows, and we want to go hang out with sharks. And dude, I'm pumped for this. I'm pumped for more details. I'm excited for when it all fully launches and you're not ready to sell it yet or ready to promote the location yet, are you?
No. So to give everybody just like a frame, we're looking at the middle of October or the beginning of November to throw the first workshop. It's still one of those things where it's like, all the stuff that you guys are going to be learning has been tested by all of us as marketers for over and a combined over 20 years.
Yeah.
There's a combined 20 years worth of experience and millions of dollars between all of us that has been made as a result of this. It only comes from exact results. In fact, I actually have a student right now. I'll only say his first name because I want to protect his privacy. His name is Malcolm. He actually has his first 2 clients already as an email marketer, and he is killing it. And we looked at that, and it's like, all the stuff that we're showing you guys is tested. It's like, I look over at the biz op industry and I look at all these people positioning this stuff. They just want your money, man. And it's like, yeah, like we're charging for this. Like, obviously it's like, but it's one of those things where it's, it's not trying to just like sell you on like, you have to do it this way. We're going to give you like, you will literally leave there with everything done. All you have to do is put it online and implement it. And you will have the best marketers in the world looking over your shoulder. And it's, but at the same time, I mean, like, you look at it, it's like, we almost don't want everybody there. Like we really don't. It's like
no, you don't want everybody there.
No,
the answer is
dude, we don't, man.
We don't have enough room in the penthouse for that. That's like, the big point right there. Is how many people can we genuinely fit in there? 20, 30? I don't know how, but that's how close.
40 max.
Yeah, 30 people with how many supers? When have you ever been in a room with a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure earners that are going to be looking over your shoulder with only 20, 30 people in the room? So how much screen time are you going to get with these people?
And it's like, I was in a mastermind group with a guy a little while ago for about 2 years. I won't mention his name because I don't really have good things to say about it. But when we were in the mastermind group, I mean, like literally I was there for 2 years, paid this guy over 20 grand, and I got maybe 5 minutes of his time. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's such bullshit, especially when the promise like get to 6 figures in 6 months and all this other crap. It was like, I felt taken for a ride. And it was one of those things where I looked at that and I'm like, like, that's not what this is. Like, you're not coming here to learn more theory or more information. You're coming here, by the way, like, it's like basically who we're looking for. It's like, you should already know what copywriting is. Like, if you don't know what that is, don't come. You should already know what an info product is in an online business and like what that kind of looks like. You should already have an idea in your head. But it's like, I work with a very specific type of person, like someone who invests in themselves. Like, I've invested over $100,000 into myself, into my personal career over the past 2 years. It's 50 grand a year. And it's like,
I did $62,000 last year, so I understand.
Yeah, get it, dude. It's like you like anybody who's telling you like, oh, you could start a business from scratch with no money down. Like, tell them to fuck off because they're taking you for a ride. It's not true. Like, you need to spend money to make money. You need to put yourself around the experts because they can help you collapse time. And it's a difference between, like, if I had done this by myself, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. I wouldn't be doing any of this. I wouldn't be in Arizona. It's like these things come from just like, you just gotta go for it. You fucking go for it.
Yeah,
you really gotta fucking go for it.
I'll be there. So how do the people that just spent the last hour and a half, 2 hours, however long we've been going, how do the people that are just in love with you, in love with your message, how do they get in contact with you? How do they reach out to you? Where do they follow you? How can they learn more about this deal?
So I guess I'll do this. So if you are interested in the, right now we don't have a name for it. Like, if you're interested in the Penthouse workshop, you want to learn how to do this, Jeff will probably put a link under this in the comment section or in the caption or whatever. And just shoot me a DM and say Penthouse Mastermind. And then I will get back to you with all the details and we can get on the phone or on Zoom. We can talk face to face and it's whatever. Like, you are not coming into a pitch. This is coming from a friend to a friend. Like, I'm not here to hard sell anybody. I hate that kind of shit. I've had people pull it with me and it's really just grimy. And it's like, if you are super interested in this and you're serious and you are ready to make an investment in your future, it's not a huge one, but it is an investment. If you are ready to do that, let's get on the phone and talk. If not, no worries, no hard feelings. But it's like, don't hit me up if you're not ready to do that because I only work with people who operate at the same level and at the same speed and at the same efficiency as Jeff does and as I do and as the rest of my team does as well, because we're going to go 150% on getting you these results. But I only want implementers. I only want people who are like, I'm going to make this happen, because Malcolm got his second client. Like, I got him a second client in less than a month. Like,
and I can contest to that too, because that's how I met Zach. I was running a funnel, and I'll tell a quick story just as a testimonial forever in the end of this video. But that's how I met Zach. I was running a funnel, a dropshipping funnel that I did $210,000 in sales through this funnel in 45 days, 50, 60. It was rounded up to 60. $210,000 in 60 days. We were looking to scale it, take it to the next level. So I was trying to hire somebody in the email marketing space. That's how I met Zach. I reached out to him because I knew he was one of his buddies reached out to him for me because he's an incredible email copywriter. Guess what? I sat down in the sales presentation, sales pitch, but it wasn't a pitch. And we became friends. That's how come we're here today, because that's what it was. I got to know him. We talked to him. The funnel ended up blowing up. It didn't work out, but guess what? That's the kind of guy that he is. No hard feelings. It might not work out. Might not be good for you. It doesn't matter. If you're a hustler, you're a real person, and you're semi-interested in it. If it's right for you, it's right for you. If it's not, no big deal. And Zach's the kind of guy that's not going to take you for a ride. He's not going to be the guy that shoves shit down your throat. It's just not that. I'm sure you guys feel that way from the last video and who he is, but I will say I experienced it firsthand that he's a genuine, real dude that will take care of you. If it's right for you, if it's not, then it won't. No big deal. So.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things, man, where it's like, if you know your stuff's good, you're not trying to push it on people. Like, if you know your stuff works, like, you don't push it on people. It's, I mean, you always invite. It's like, I'm like, I'm not the kind of person who in sales, I'm like, it's like, I'm going to put you have a certain time limit to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, the only limitation here is that we really only can have like 20 to 30 people in this room, because it's a 3,900 square foot house. The living room's nice, but it's like, we're not putting 100 people in there. So it's like, the interest that we've been getting in from this has been huge. And it's like, by the way, like I had no intention of coming here and even talking about this. Like, so it's like, this isn't a pitch. Like none of you have to hit me up. I'm not going to be offended if you don't. Like, it's totally cool. It's something we're putting together. People are going to get some amazing results off of this. And it's my personal goal because I know the big impact that it had on my life when I finally got to look my boss in the eye and say, "Peace the fuck out, asshole." And I did my job. And it's like, I'm going to leave you guys with a metaphor. You know, somebody can take your food, but when they can't take your ability to hunt, that is when you win. Learn to hunt. Don't worry about the food. Learn to hunt first, because when you learn to hunt, it doesn't matter what happens in your life. You could lose everything tomorrow and go out and get more food. And what I'm basically saying here is like, have the skills to make a lot of money, one skill that can make you a lot of money. Know that you can do it really well so that if you lost everything, you lost your house, you lost literally everything tomorrow, you could make it back in a month or two. That's because with that comes some serious confidence. And with that confidence, like you take it into your relationships, you take it into your health, you take it into just everything, and it changes your world. And it takes time. It really takes consistency. There's going to be days where you're like, I just want to quit. But the only time you fail is when you quit. Mistakes aren't failures. Mistakes, honestly, write this the fuck down. The person who makes the most mistakes is the person who succeeds the fastest. Okay, once again, the person who makes the most mistakes is the person who succeeds the fastest. It is very true. There's no such thing as a bad mistake. All of them are good, and all of them come with it is a lesson.
Yeah, that's a Napoleon Hill thing. For every whatever it is in that book, goddamn, I'm drawing a blank now. But for every problem that you have, basically comes along with it the seed of advantage, right? Every mistake, every issue you have comes along with it the seed of advantage. If you plant that seed and you water it, and you decide to think of it as tuition, if you decide to let it hold you down and become baggage and a weight, then it is a problem. Then it is a mistake. If you get negative and bitter, but if you water it, you seed it, you learn from it, you grow from it. The sky's the limit for you, man. So
I think that is a wonderful place to leave us off. We should do this again sometime. Cool. I think it's super valuable.
You know, I'm game. We'll do more of these. I just want to say thank you so much, man, for having you here. Guys, for those of you that are watching the video, I'm going to tag Zach in the top of the Facebook post, so you can go in here, you can message him on there. All of his contact information is going to be in the description above this video or below the video in the first comment. So make sure you comment down below, check the comments. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Team Trimble out, Zach out, and we'll see you in another video.
Thanks for having me here, brother. You guys have an amazing day.
Perfect. You don't need to end it. So what I'll